Let's pivot to the Stephen Ross statement from last night, because you mentioned the Cameron Wolfe report on NFL Network. This is fascinating to me because Ross comes out with that statement, talked about it earlier. Strong statement. False, malicious, and defamatory. Never addresses, directly or indirectly, the report from NFL Network, which is partially owned by Stephen Ross. You know, I made that point on Twitter last night. I was amazed how many people were confused. Oh, did he invest in it? Folks, NFL Network is the NFL. The NFL owns NFL Network. So the NFL is made up of the 32 teams. The 32 teams own NFL Network. People think that the name was licensed to some external body, and that's what it should be, frankly. But in this case, you have NFL Network, partially owned by Stephen Ross, reporting that there's a witness, not that would corroborate Ross, a witness that would corroborate Brian Flores. Statement doesn't address that. And this is where Ross has to be careful because he's putting a lot of eggs in a basket that may not have a bottom on it. And this thing's going to get very interesting because, Myles, this is kind of too inside baseball for most people, but I think it's fascinating to people in the business. Number one, NFL Network clearly got itself onto a proverbial third rail with this. Did they know that they were doing it and do it anyway, or did they stumble onto it? That's what I'd love to know. Did they have any idea the implications? Because Cameron Wolfe just kind of said it during a report. It wasn't the headline, but then they wrote something about it and put it on NFL.com. That's how I found out about it. I just wonder at what point the danger lights started to flash that this is going to be a major deal, because it helps to show that one of the owners of NFL Network engaged in a federal crime potentially.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of the risk you take when you start employing people who have been real reporters, and then they go in there, and then a big story happens, and they start reporting, and then they do the job that they were ostensibly hired to do. All right. So, I mean, it's not entirely a shock to me that Cameron Wolfe, who has been employed by, different news organizations in the past, started doing the thing that he's always done. And he started being a reporter. He started reporting, and he got a pretty interesting element out of this story. And frankly, it's going to be pretty darn important going forward, because if somebody can corroborate that, that's huge. And it really does give merit, and it makes, what Brian Flores is alleging a lot less baseless if you can corroborate that by at least one other person, let alone there could be other people who could also do it. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know if it's, maybe they did stumble upon it. Maybe there's somebody that isn't too happy, that there was NFL media that initially reported that. But yeah, I mean, look, he was doing his job. In reality, at least that's the way I see it.
We had this conversation several weeks ago, though. It's fundamentally different when you go to work for a team or for the league. And Mike Silver, remember the things he said on the Tim Kawakami podcast? He understood walking through the door. There are certain things he can't touch now that he could have touched before. I'm just curious. Was this courageous or was this foolhardy? I'd love to know. I'd love to know whether someone said, whether it's Cameron Wolfe, producer, editor, were people saying, we know that this is going to cause a problem. We know that Stephen Ross could end up doing a perp walk. We know that he could be prosecuted. We know he could lose his team, but we're still going to go with this. Or was it, well, this is interesting. Let's just go ahead and do it. Oh, wait, what? Oh, really? Oh. So it's one or the other. Can't be both. There's no middle ground. They either knew damn well what they were doing and they did it anyway, or they had no idea. And then because that's what happens. And let's take it one step farther. We got other stuff to talk about. Humor me, Myles. Humor me on this.
Well, what choice?
What happens? Well, you can leave. I can do it myself. I mean, I got abandoned by Sims the other day because he had a reaction to the booster. I can carry it for the next 40 minutes. Anyway, you can walk off like they did last night on The Masked Singer. You can just walk off. I can take off my mask and be Rudy Giuliani, and you can walk off. I can't wait to see it. I've never watched that show. Talk about the ultimate viral marketing. The moment when Robin Thicke and Ken Jeong walk off because the guy takes off the mask, and they say, can you take off that mask too? Anyway, boom. What was I saying? Oh, wait a minute. Thought escaping. Thought escaping. I gotta reel it in here.
Oh,
no, but let me say what I was thinking.
Okay.
Wait, but no, it was a good point. It was a very good point about. Oh, I got it. Wait, I had it. What happens? Here it is. What happens when Roger Goodell wants to know who the witness is that Cameron Wolfe didn't name? How does that work?
Oh, that's a great
How does that
question.
work? You work for Roger Goodell. Well, I'm sorry, boss. Even though your name is imprinted on every one of my paychecks, I can't tell you because of the journalistic principles that I have been required to uphold. Oh, you mean like the one that says you shouldn't accept paychecks from the entity that you cover? Those principles, Cameron? Well, yes, those principles. It's a flexible standard. I'm just... No, but this is real. This is the perfect storm of conflicts of interest and journalistic integrity coming together. Is Cameron Wolfe, who accepts a paycheck from the entity he covers, is Cameron Wolfe, when the time comes to tell Roger Goodell or Stephen Ross who the witness is he going to say, you're going to have to fire me? And would he have a cause of action if he were fired over that? That's what's fascinating about this to me.
It's very inside baseball, all of that you just said.
But you got to admit it's interesting. You have to admit it's interesting.
It is absolutely interesting. Yes, it is. It certainly is. But I mean, and I think we've said this on the show before here too, right? Like when I was working for different organizations as, an in-house reporter, there's just obvious things that you don't touch, right? Or there's things that you just don't do. And so, I mean, I'm fortunate that I have reached a point in my career where I'm not necessarily doing that anymore. And I don't have people telling me things that I need to tweet, because that was one of the things that I just realized I'm not built for that. So it is what it is. And most of the time, NFL media reporters are able to do their job and report. But when it is a situation like this, and when they are reporting on something as Cameron Wolfe was reporting on, then that makes it an entirely different situation, because, like you said, it does present a certain conflict of interest, because Stephen Ross is a partial owner of the NFL media conglomerate. So, yes, I see what it is that you're saying here. Yes.
And it could go that way. If they're trying to find out whether or not Brian Flores is telling the truth, one way to find out, if you're going to investigate this, I mean, it's pretty simple. They reportedly are going to investigate this. Well, One of your employees knows of a witness who heard Stephen Ross say it. I'd like to think somebody's going to say to Cameron Wolfe, can you tell us who this person is so we can properly do our investigation? We need you to tell us so we can do our due diligence. I'm just saying there's a way to get to the bottom of it, and I wonder how aggressive they will be. All right.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.